What is up? What is up? What is up, y'all? We are live once again. Thank you all for being here on this Friday afternoon. Cesarina Bello is in the building, says, Brother Gerald, I was waiting for you to discuss this. You know what? That is one of the greatest compliments I can get. When someone says, I was waiting to hear what you had to say on this. Number one, because I don't think that much of myself to say, okay, my opinion matters that much to people. So when y'all come before me and say, I want to know what you think on a certain subject, well, that means the world to me. And I appreciate your support. Cesarina Bello, thank you for being in the building. Thank you, everyone, on this Friday afternoon for being a part of this. It is 1:04 p.m. out here on the West Coast, and we're going to get to it. We're not going to prolong it, but there are some things that we need to get out the way, get in the way and out the way before we even get into the situation. Y'all, if you look in the description, you'll see that the link to the Patreon is there. We are just a few days away from launch, getting things in order. Nene Nicole in the building says, good day to you, Nene. Thank you for being here. If you want to support this channel, you can click that Patreon link, become a member, share your email address so that you will be notified when we officially launch on Patreon. It will give you access to the Discord server where we're going to have some crazy discussions, crazy conversations. We're going to get to it like we can't do on them folks platforms. There are some things that I wanted to discuss that I was advised by a wise counselor not to do on those folks platform. Things that had to do with, well, I entitled it, What I Would Do If I Were You. And I got some submissions, and certain things had to do with familial situations. Certain things had to do with financial situations. Certain things had to do with medical situations. And they were like, don't do that. Because you don't want to be accused of giving out certain advice on public platforms. I get it. These them folks' platforms. It's not mine. We operate in their space. So what we have done, y'all, is created a space of our own where we can get together and commune, where we can talk to each other. We can communicate directly. They're used to, look, I've been on this platform for 19 years, y'all. Crazy situation. And there used to be a function on here where you could send messages to channel owners on this platform, on them folks' platform. And people used to contact me by sending direct messages. For some reason, years ago, maybe even a decade ago, they took that functionality away on YouTube. I don't know why, but we're going to get that functionality back where you can contact me directly. Somebody, we ain't even launched yet. And people have been active in the chat, in the community. And somebody left a message and I responded to it and they said, wow, I didn't think you would respond. I'm like, yo, that's what we're here for. That's what the whole purpose of this is, that I can respond to you directly. You can reach out to me directly. So click the link in the description, y'all. Join the Patreon. We're about to set it off in just a few days in April 2025, and it's going to be a great thing. I'm glad to have you all as a part of this community that we're building. And understand, when I say community, it don't mean that I'm just going to stand before y'all and make proclamations and I'm just going to speak and my voice is the only voice heard. No, there are people. I've discovered this over 20 years of doing this work. There are people in the community that have so many gifts, so many talents, so many things that they can offer to others. In order to build a community, you have to have all those people chip in. Whatever your talent is, I don't care if you are an accountant, a business consultant. I don't care what your occupation is. You have something to contribute to the community that might help someone else. And we are trying to build a community that will be of help to people. That's my goal. Ida Davis in the building from Atlanta. Thank you for being here. Kenny Cooper, our man, is in the building. Thank you for being here. Valerie Inman in the building says good afternoon. Good afternoon, Valerie. Thank you for being here. So y'all click the link, join up, support the situation. We are here on a Friday to talk about this video that has gone viral. And it hit me in a certain kind of way because, y'all, I was born and raised in a certain church. I've talked about it in the past. If you rock with me for some time, you understand where I'm coming from. But this church is so full of itself that it wrote a song years ago that said, you can't even join in this church. You can't even join in. You got to be born in. Thrive with Sister Fields Enterprises in the building. Thank you for being here. Thrive. You can't even join in it. You got to be born in it. That's what we about. That's what we doing. Now, at a certain point, they got to a certain point where they said, okay, maybe we need to rewrite this verse, rewrite this stanza, so that we are a welcoming church, because we understand that these lyrics to this song that we've sang for decades is exclusionary. We keeping people out because we feel so good about ourselves. The winning walk with Christina is in the building. She said, never would have paid it. I like that. I hadn't heard that before, but I love that one. Listen, I grew up in a church that was exclusive to the point where they wrote a song that said, you can't even join us. If you ain't born in here, you can't join in here. That's who we are. We are exclusive. We the only ones going to heaven. We the only ones with a mainline connection to God. And if you ain't about it with this church, if you wasn't born in, you ain't part of it. Sang a song said, Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. But if you ain't born into this situation, you can't even access the main line. It ain't available to you. Okay. So in situations like this that we're discussing today, and y'all, I ain't gonna be on here long, trust me. You want to ask me a question, you want to get to me, click the Patreon link in the description. We'll get to work. It's only a few days left before we launch. We're gonna get busy in the Patreon. Let me say this before I even move further. I found a functionality in the Discord server, y'all. And let me say this. I am not in the church pews on every Sunday. There are some Sundays where I am at home and I choose to be attending Bedside Baptist Church. Bedside Baptist is convenient because you can pick your pastor on YouTube, whether it be Bishop Patrick Wooden or anyone else that I choose on a Sunday. I can attend because I'm not in North Carolina. I'm in California. I can attend your service. I can get a word from you from across the country. I can be blessed by what you preach. I can even give to your ministry. If y'all follow me for some time, you've heard me say, God don't need your money. We're going to get into that in just a second. But there is a situation in this Discord server that I've come across. Tanisha, please, is in the building. Thank you for being here. Sandra Green is here. Oh, Sandra Green said, this is the church of God in Christ. Oh, I didn't say it, Sandra. You did. You did. You did. But we have a situation here where it's very familiar to me, if I can say it that way, because it was normalized in my childhood where preachers would get up in district meetings and convocations and revival services. Every meeting you can Imagine, and they would ask you for money. I grew up in this. It was normalized to me throughout my entire life, but I came to an understanding later on in life as my relationship with God developed and I got older, and I said, God don't need your money. What would God do with your money? As I came to understand financials, as I came to understand investments, what is God going to do with your paper dollar that ain't even backed by gold? We got Elon Musk and Doge that's about to go and investigate whether the gold is even on reserve, as the U.S. has been telling us. We know they've been lying to us about so many circumstances in this country. Well, let's see, when Elon Musk get into Fort Knox, let's see if the gold is even still there or if they just been lying to us the whole time. That little paper dollar might not even be worth what you think it's worth. We found out as the economy has devolved under Joe Biden's leadership, if we want to call it that, as things have, food has even gotten more expensive under the last administration. That dollar ain't been worth what you once thought it was. Can't stretch a dollar as far as you used to stretch it. So what does God need with that little flimsy piece of paper that fluctuates in its value? Because as long as I've been here on this earth, y'all, some Bernie Miranda in the building, Knight Rider in the building, Poodaloo in the building. We got, look, S. Ray C in the building. Thank you, Sandra Green, all y'all for being here. We appreciate all of y'all for rocking out with us. As long as I've been around here, I've come to understand God don't need your dollar, but the church needs your dollar. The ministry needs your dollar. Why? Because the ministry acts as a business. It is sanctioned by the government in an unfortunate way, because every church I've been to, especially the black churches, we're going to see if God allows me to go all the way there today. I don't know. We just going to wing it. I ain't made no notes or nothing. We just going to talk about it today. Is that okay? On this Friday, I hope everyone is doing well. I thank you all for being here. But every black church that I have been a part of, there always comes a time of election season. Knight Rider says, yep, it's a business. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey, Knight Rider, I'm not knocking it. I understand the structure of what goes on in church. Because when you are either, whether you're renting or owning a property, the payment comes due and it must be made. How are you not gonna make your mortgage payment on a thank you, Jesus, and a hallelujah? That's not how this works. I get it. But I came up in an era, and let me just reference this, if I may. Happy Mac in the building. There was a preacher in Oakland, California, that I enjoyed in my childhood. Let me just say that. I enjoyed it. It was always a pleasure to go to East Oakland Deliverance. And I believe the full name of the church was East Oakland Deliverance Faith Center, something like that. But for those of you who were familiar with it, it was just East Oakland Deliverance to us on East 14th. They now call it International Boulevard. It was East 14th, East Oakland Deliverance, Pastor Ray Mack, Reverend Ray Mack. And y'all, they had it down to a science. And I used to sit in that sanctuary, that sanctuary that used to be a bowling alley that they converted to a church. A Pentecostal church that came out of Kojic. And y'all be like, why everything got to do with Kojic? Because so many of these denominations come out of Kojic. Thank you, Shawnee Wright Chick. Appreciate you. So many denominations come out of Kojic, y'all, where they felt like, okay, I've learned everything I can learn from this situation. I don't want to be an Indian no more. I need to be a chief. Let me go and start my own. Let me go and start my own church. Let me go and start my own denomination. Let me go and do my own thing. So many blackity black denominations have been born out of Kojic. That's why we give it reverence. We understand what it is. We understand that it is the birthplace of a lot of these independent churches, Pentecostal churches, apostolic churches, all of them. A lot of y'all come out of Kojic. We understand what it is. But there was this church, y'all. And it was so wonderful for me as a youth because I was born and raised in a suburb of Oakland. I used to go to Oakland to take organ lessons. I've been taught by so many great organists in Oakland, California, from Derek Hall to Greg Hunter to John Fallard to Sylvester Burks. And at East Oakland Deliverance, y'all, they had it down to a science where when offering time came up, oh, my man Sylvester would start that little bump, that little East Oakland bump. He'd get that thing to rocking. Whoever was on the drums would put that rhythm down, and Sylvester would do his thing, and Reverend Ray Mack would start pulling at the purse strings of the people. Anybody from Oakland in the chat? He start with that $1,000 line. They would line up against the wall and get ready to march before the table and drop their coins. And you say, "What? Oakland is the hood. Where all this money come from? Where all these blackity black people come from with all this money? Where they can line up against the wall with $1,000 and he drop it down and say, okay, if you ain't got 1,000, then hey, 500. And it became a status thing. Everybody looking around the church, who got 1,000? Who about to drop 1,000 today? Sylvester over there on that Hammond B3 just romping, putting it together, making it feel good. Shout out to Sylvester. The winning walk with Christina says, hey, there's my Happy Mac. Well, listen. They had that thing down to a science to where Sylvester would lay the foundation musically. Reverend Mack would cajole you, would convince you to give up everything to pay your rent money, your light bill money, your food money. You would put it all in the plate because it meant so much to you to stand in that $1,000 line, that $500 line, that $100 line up against that wall. And people who didn't have it or people who chose not to give it were just sitting in the pews looking like, these people think they something. Night Rider said a $50 prayer line, a $100 prayer line. Listen, E-Bike Mike in the building. When I was a youth, a wayward teen, Night Rider, I was so wayward in my ways that I didn't have to get in the $100 prayer line. I would get prayer for free because they call me up in revival and say, him right there. Yeah, he on that organ, but get him up off of there. He need prayer. That Negro crazy. He got problems. He needs some extra prayer. Get in the front of the line in this revival. I didn't have to pay $100. I was so crazy cutting up in life that they would just invite me up for free. Yeah, y'all might have to pay $100 for this prayer line, but they feel like I need it so much. I'm just gonna get it today. Okay, cool. I'll take it. Because I was raised in this. I was born in this. I'm accustomed to this. Y'all, Ray Mack would have that thing down to a science with Sylvester on that organ, and they would fleece them folks out of all of that money. Well, there came a point in my life, y'all. Thank you all for being here. I love y'all to life. There came a point. Listen, if you in the chat, if you're watching the video, make sure you drop a like. It's going to help out with the algorithm. People have asked me, I said, I'm dropping a Patreon. We're going to do a new thing. First question I got was, are you leaving YouTube? No. I am not leaving YouTube. I will still be here on this platform. But if you want to have a personal connection, you want to connect with me, you want to get closer to the community, meet me over there. It's going to be great. That's what we on. Thank you all for being here. Let's see if we can get 100 likes, y'all. Can we get 100 likes? I don't think that's too much to ask. Just click the button. Don't cost you a thing. So shout out to East Oakland Deliverance and that infamous offering line lined up against the wall just to march before the people. Because I came to understand at an early point in my life, the more you give to the Blackity Black church, the more you get recognized, the more you get clout just for being a giver. Understand what I said? Remember what I said? God don't need your money. The church needs your money. The ministry needs your money. Most definitely. God don't need your money. Yo, I've been it would be fortunate in certain circumstances when you say, okay, you've been exposed to certain things that have allowed you to realize other things. In other ways, it's been detrimental. Maybe you weren't supposed to see these things, but I've seen preachers in brand new Cadillacs and Bentleys drive up to the church in a Bentley by themselves as they pass by members who were walking to church, walking with their children, didn't have a car, maybe lived a few blocks away in the neighborhood, and the pastor blow right past them in a Bentley. He didn't pick them up and say, oh, you going the same place I'm going. Let me be a gentleman. Let me be a man of God and give you a ride because I see you need a ride. No, he's smashing past in a brand new Cadillac. Ride right past you and your kids as you trying to get there. You trying to walk faster just to get there on time for Sunday school so your kids can learn a thing or three. He blow right past you. Pull up to the church all by himself. It's what we dealing with, y'all. So when you talk about circumstances and situations, like a brother who would come out, listen, okay, let me go here just for a second. Can I touch on it, y'all? Just let me touch on it just a little piece, y'all, while you're clicking that like button to get me up to 100. While you're clicking the like button for the algorithm on them folks platform, let me just touch on it for a second. Jax Willow in the building. Thank you for being here. Bobby65 in the building. Happy Mac in the building. Thank you all. Jamisha, thank you all for being here and rocking out. TJ, I see you all. Thank you for being here and rocking out with your boy. Listen, I have been the leader, the head of a media department of a large Christian organization, right? So a lot of these preachers who go viral, a lot of these preachers you see all the time making all these waves on social media. I've seen these preachers. I've been close to these preachers. I've recorded these preachers. I know how some of them act because I've been close enough to see it firsthand. I know that most of them are fraudsters. I hate to put it to some of y'all that way that may never have heard of it that way, but it's the truth as I see it. You may not see it that way, and I'm not trying to convince you to see it my way. I'm just expressing myself. As my grandmama would say, I ain't complaining, I'm just explaining. Some of these preachers fly in to your town. They get booked for your convention. They get an upfront fee and they negotiate in a certain contract that they walk away with 50% of what they raise. M. Shantae in the building, Honey K in the building. Our sister Bernie Mac, our sister Bernie Miranda is here with us, rocking out. Y'all, 50% of what they raise, that means if they can cajole you, if they can convince you, if they can turn you upside down, hold you by your ankles and shake every coin, every nickel, every dime, every penny out of your pocket. They take all them pennies, all them nickels, all them dimes in the back room, and they count them up and say, hey, I'm leaving with 50%. That was in my contract. You give me an upfront fee to come here. I'm paid just to be here, Miss Ann. And when I get here, I do my thing. I do what I do. Y'all see it on the internet. You see these people. I'm familiar with these people and their act. Let me call it what it is. It's an act. And thus is the problem with the blackity black church, which leads us to our point today, because you got so many actors in the church who will get out here, tell you what you need. Look, there's a certain evangelist. I'm gonna call him evangelist because he got more people that he come across around the country than he got in his home church. If you followed him home, you see he only got 3 members. But when he come to your church, he gonna prophesy, right? He gonna tell you your address. He gonna tell you your family members, all information that he got off the church's Facebook page. He's already been exposed on social media. But when he come to your church, he gonna guarantee you that he done been told by God that God is gonna give you $1.2 million. $3.4 million. And y'all love to see that kind of stuff and hear that stuff in the moment. Let me tell you, that brother right there, I'm not going to name him, but he owes millions, tens of millions of dollars to saints in California where I am, because he done came through here so many times speaking that foolishness. Talking about you going to get 1.2 million, you going to get 2.4 million, you going to get 5 million. God said, so laughter in the building. Thank you for being here. And if you don't praise him, then it's on you. If you don't get the 5 million, it's your fault because you didn't praise him right. Because you didn't dance right. You didn't dance with me in front of all these people tonight. That brother right there owes millions of dollars to people in my home state. I've recorded that brother and just been looking through the viewfinder like, is he really doing this? Are you really doing this right now? Not only are you really doing it, but are the people really believing it? And yes, y'all, they believe in it. Because he done looked at your social media, because y'all silly enough to put all your information on the internet. And when he get booked for a certain event, he just go looking around on social media and say, who all there? Well, he's been caught in a recent controversy because he told somebody, oh, well, I heard from your dead relative. Even Bishop Wooden came out and spoke against it, talking about, no, that's necromancy, bro. You ain't speaking to the dead, are you? Are you really? Is this what you're professing? Is this the level you have stooped to in your ministry? Because somebody put online that so-and-so died and you felt so bad about it and you was down in a way and you just wish you could talk to him one more time, hear from him once again. I saw a podcast a few weeks ago where Ocho was on there with Club Shay Shay in the nightcap, and he said, bro, I wish my mama could just be here to cuss me out one more time. And he broke down in tears and had to get off camera and go clean his face up because he was so messed up. He said, I wish my mama could just be here to cuss me out one more time. Well, when you put that stuff online and you got these charlatans who specialize in shenanigans and get before you and want to call themselves preaching a word of God. No, they preaching a word of what you put online. I'm going to regurgitate it to you like they really know your address. Like your auntie and them really been talking to them in the spirit. When I tell y'all this brother right here owes millions, tens of millions of dollars to folks. Because see, he understands that if I promise you $1 million, maybe you'll give 100 tonight. If I promise you 5 million in God's blessings, God's anointing that I proclaim over your life, if I promise you 5 million, maybe you'll give 1,000 tonight. It's a small price to pay for 5 mil, right? He plays on the emotions of people. Stephen M. AJ Drotty in the building. Thank you for being here. Jeff Comic says your background is so encouraging. Thank you, Jeff Comic. I'm just trying to share my experience, who I am, what I've been through, and hope it helps someone along the way. But listen, if you're going to join the community and be part of this, I want to know about you too, Jeff Comic. I want to know about Neo Bailey. I want to know about Salaptor. I want to know about Bernie Miranda. I want to know about Honey K. I want to know about everybody, because this is how we come together and be a help one to another. Y'all, let me get into this because I've gone so far astray. Oh my goodness. Let me go back to where I wanted to be before we get into this video. All right, I got a scripture for y'all. Can I just interject, because I want to make sure that I'm walking upright, circumspect. Scripture is 2 Corinthians 9:7. Every man according as his, let me start over. Every man according as he purposes in his heart. Every man, mankind, women, y'all included. Every man according as he purposes in his heart, so let him give. As he purposes in his heart, not as he told, not as he instructed, not as he commanded, as he purposes in his heart. So let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity. I need to do this because I need to be up there in the $100 line, because I need everybody in this church to see me. Moni Love, thank you for being here. I need y'all to see my new dress that I bought for Sunday. These new red bottoms that I'm rocking this week. I need to get up in the $100 line because I want y'all to see how I'm working this outfit. Just got my hair did. I need y'all to see it, so I'm going to stand up in this $100 line. No. That's not biblical. It says, every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. Now, listen. I'll see how you could be so happy if you understand that God don't need your money. See, this is the starting point. If you understand that God don't need your money, and a great God, an omnipotent God, an omniscient God can't do nothing with $100 paper bill that ain't even backed by gold that your government told you it was backed by. They lied to you, but it's okay. If you understand that God don't need that, how can you be cheerful about giving your light bill money, How can you be cheerful about giving that $100 knowing ain't nothing in your cabinets for your kids but some popcorn and some water in the refrigerator, or not even that, some water out the faucet and some popcorn in the cabinet, maybe some top ramen, because y'all in the struggle, and you gonna give the last of your last. Well, any preacher worth his salt would tell you, we don't need your bill money. We don't need your rent money. I would rather you take that money and feed your kids than you take that money and pay my Bentley payment outside. And that's where we come, y'all. Let me get back to my screen. Where are we at here? Y'all, it took me 38 minutes to get to where I'm going. I'm even amazed at that. Listen, Knight Rider said, can't nobody spend my money better than me. Okay, Knight Rider, can't nobody spend your money better than me. Did you boycott Target when that blackity black preacher told you that you needed to spend your money elsewhere? Because Target wasn't with the DEI. Target wasn't with the blackity blacks. Listen, E-Bike Mike said, or a new Rolly. We're going to get to that E-Bike Mike because it's on the video. It's on the video. And I apologize to y'all. I didn't mean to long stroke it. It took me 40 minutes to get here, but we here now. And I'm going to share this video because I want y'all to see this. Gospel singer, Marvin Sapp. Gospel preacher, gospel pastor, Marvin Sapp. The Night Rider says, I did not. I didn't either. Don't let them blackity black preachers tell you where to spend your money, whether it's Reverend Jamal Bryant or Reverend Al Sharptongue. Because based on what I see, they don't represent God no way. See, people come at me sometimes. Y'all don't understand this about content creators. We take so much heat just by being out here amongst y'all on these platforms. We take so much heat. But regardless of the heat, I am not going to fold. I am not going to capitulate to what these blackity blacks are out here preaching and pumping into the community. I think that's what brings us here today. Because we talking about the black church and all the money that is pumped into the black church. And the black church ain't doing nothing for the community. I could look at it better if y'all had a little movie night for the kids once a week. If y'all had an after school program, you go, look, Donald Trump is destroying the Department of Education because it is ineffectual. It ain't doing nothing. It ain't working. It ain't been working. We spend more money per pupil and get the worst results in the world. Well, the church used to be the hub of the community. You can't read? Oh, you go to YPWW. You go to Sunday school. They're going to make you stand up and read a scripture. In Sunday school, by the time you get back to your class, you would have read so many scriptures. You would have read so many Christmas and Easter speeches that you know those words. You able to go back into that classroom and get an A on the test. Because they asking you about simple words when you've been reading Nebuchadnezzar, Ecclesiastes. You know the big Bible words because it's been in your practice. The church used to be a hub of the community. We have lost that. And that's what leads us to this point today where the church ain't really offering nothing but a shout and a dance. Maybe you can burn off a few calories, mother. Maybe you can sweat a little piece, brother. But that's all you getting for your money. And this church who asks for all of your money, all of your dollars, all of your income that you worked hard for. What are they offering back to you? A word? Oh, okay. Well, y'all can meet me in the Discord because I found a functionality where if you part of Bedside Baptist Church and I don't feel like going to church that day, you can meet me at Bedside Baptist in the Discord and we can group watch a sermon. We can, we can get a word on the internet. I know when the verse was written, 2 or 3 gathered together in his name. Okay, can we gather together on the internet? Are we touching and agreeing virtually? Y'all have to let me know. I'm going to find out in that Patreon, y'all, because y'all going to tell me. Y'all going to keep it a buck with me over there, over yonder. And we're going to find out if you feel like watching a Bishop Wooden on a Sunday morning, if you feel like watching that with me online is touching and agreeing, gathering together, fellowshipping, if you feel it that way, you're going to let me know. If you feel like watching a Brandon Jacobs on a Sunday morning, if that's what you're feeling, if you feel like we are touching and agreeing by watching that together in unison with one accord, not on the chord, but with one accord. If you feel like that's a thing, then we're going to get to it. And when you can't make it, Night Rider, when you can't make it to service that day, you might be able to reach and grab my hand on this internet. Say, I agree with you. Let's sit on this virtual pew and watch the service together. Let's enjoy this word together. Let's take it in together. Let's commune together. Can we do that virtually? I don't know, y'all. We about to find out. And I'm glad that some of y'all here for the ride. If you listen, if you're not familiar with what's going on, join the Patreon. The link is in the description. Click and become a part. We launch it in just a few days in April 2025. It's going to be a great thing. But I ain't going to hold you any longer. Let's get to what we came here for, shall we? See what's going on here. Okay, there we go. Great. Technology, y'all. So Bishop Marvin Sapp, who's been going through some things lately, has been caught up in a viral video because he made a statement. He was preaching somewhere. As you can see, he sweated out his little clothes. He preached real hard to y'all. I'm sure he huffed and puffed. Told y'all what thus saith the Lord as he interpreted it that night. And he got to a point, because after they preach you real good, you see, if you're not familiar with the Blackity Black Church, and I don't blame y'all. It's a lot of crazy stuff that go on in there. I've taken people into black churches. Now, they were only interested in music, so I understood it at the time. But they said, listen, bro, I ain't trying to go off in there, but if you taking me, I'll go with you. I want to experience it because you putting that stuff online and it's so energizing. It's so invigorating. I'm so interested in it. I want to see, I want to know, I want to learn more about what's going on in the black church, but I'm scared to go in there. Now, I'm talking to you when I make this reference. I'm talking about a white man who had long hair down his back like a rock star, who had a piercing in his nose. He was a rocker. He had tattoos. That was his thing, but he wanted to know more about the musicality that went on in the black church. He was curious, but he was scared. He said, I ain't going in there unless you take me. I flew to his city, had another event going on, some other stuff, and I hit him up when I was there. I took him to a Blackity Black church. He enjoyed it with everything in him, but he wasn't ready to go in there by himself. Why? Because he had a certain understanding of the things that go on in there. And some of the things are right. I ain't gonna sit here before you and tell you that foolishness don't go on in the black church. I was raised in this. This is my normal. So when I look at videos like this that go viral, I'm scratching my head like, bro, what? That's just how it works. Now, his math was mathing. Just to give y'all a quick preface of what's going on here. His math was mathing. He said, look, with all of these people in this room right now, if I had 40 people who gave me $1,000, I'd have 40,000. Cool, bro. Your math is mathing. That's right. But in America, for people who are getting laid off right and left, for people who are working 2 jobs just to make ends meet, for people who are struggling to pay bills, for people who are working paycheck to paycheck just to meet their bills, who are you talking to? Rochelle Love in the building. She says, sadly, foolishness is the norm. I don't disagree with that at all. Don't disagree with that at all. I was raised on the foolishness and had to get to a certain point of maturity before I understood it was foolishness, because in my childhood, it was normalized. Rochelle, that was my normal. To see somebody get up in a church service and try to raise tens of thousands of dollars. So when I see these false prophets for profits going around the country and getting viral on the internet, giving you false prophecies and telling you that they're talking to your dead loved ones, calling out your address because they found it on Facebook because you put it out there. Oh, I understand the foolishness. And I understand how it's been normalized. But here we are, y'all. Let me stop over talking it. With Marvin Winans, who has gone viral because he was in a church service recently. You can tell by his sweaty shirt that he has already hooped and hollered and burned off his calories. Now he's trying to get you to burn yours off and give your money at the same time. He instructed the ushers, wherever he is, he instructed the ushers to close the doors. Now, I've been in, oh, y'all, did I say Marvin Winans? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cast aspersions, y'all. I'm just running off at the mouth. Thank you, y'all, in the chat for getting me right. Marvins of the Marvins. Marvin Sapp. Let me get it correct. Marvin Sapp, who I have personally recorded as head of media, was off in this church situation. Thank you, ESP. Because that other Marvin got his own problems over there. We could do a whole nother live on that. Oh, the church is listen. Jamisha said Marvin Sack. This brother said, close the doors. Don't let nobody out. Close the doors. I need this money right here, right now. And I told y'all that I've been in situations where some of these preachers negotiate their contracts where they take half of what they raise. And they will tell you that the Lord told them this, that, and the third. And they will come before you and tell you. All the while knowing when they get to the back room, 50% of that money is going in their pocket. How do we know that about Marvin Sapp? Let me get it right. How do we know that about Marvin Sapp? We don't. But I bet you he won't show that contract. I bet you he won't show the terms of the agreement for him appearing there that night. I bet you he won't show his honorarium. I bet you he won't show his take home because he's trying to raise 40 and he probably going to take home 20 of that. And yeah, his math is math. And if I can get 40 y'all to give it that, listen, I could get on this internet and do the same thing. And listen, if I could get $1,000 from 40 people, I'd go and make a movie. Yeah, I got big dreams. I got big goals. We going somewhere with the Patreon. Y'all gonna find out. But the reason that this brother is finding himself in a controversy is because a lot of people don't understand how this thing works. It ain't normal to everybody. It might be normal to me, but it ain't normal to everyone. And when you see a brother get up in front of you and talk like this, it seems weird. He said, close the doors. Now, Let me just play it. We'll get into it in a second.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints.
Did y'all hear what he said? Because I've seen some other YouTubers get on here and talk about this story and opine on this over the last couple of days. I didn't want to jump on it early without having a full understanding of what happened. Thank you, Knight Rider. Appreciate you rocking out. He said it costs to be up here. Really? Well, I wish you would go further into that, sir. Ma'am. Sir, ma'am. Ida Davis said pulpit pimps. I wish you would go further into that. Don't just throw it out there and then walk away from it. What it costs to be up there? What does it cost to be a part of that? The aristocracy of the church. What does it cost to be on the podium? I wonder. I'm curious. What's the cost to be the boss? Because you sitting here, and I heard somebody the other day as I was reviewing someone's reaction to this video, they said, hey, he got a $10,000 watch on his arm. No, sir. He asking you for 40. That's at least a $40,000 watch. Maybe you're not familiar. But you see that diamond bezel? You see that gold Rolex? That is not a $10,000 watch, sir. So don't stand here amongst the people, before the people, on that podium that you say it costs to be on, saying you need 40 grand when you ain't giving up that watch. You ain't giving up that bracelet. You ain't giving up that honorarium. What you giving, sir? Oh, we get it. You giving your time. You giving your words, that hot air coming out your mouth. You done sweated out your clothes. And you're going to walk away from this whole situation like the Pied Piper and never look back. AJ Draddy said, in my hood, we call this a shakedown. I've seen it worse than this, AJ. I've seen a situation, that one preacher I referenced, where he say he gonna come to your church and guarantee everybody in there $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.5 million for you. All you got to do is dance right now. I saw that man because I was working media at the time. And I'm recording it at the time, and I'm looking at my monitor and I'm seeing what's going on. This man is convincing a man to give $1,000 that night at the convention, y'all. He's shaking him down. He's working him over. He sees that he's weak. He sees that he's vulnerable, and he just applying pressure like these preachers are trained and prone to do. And as this man gives what might have been his last, what might have been his bill money, what might have been his rent money, I'm looking at this big, tall, he had to be 6'5", this big old man. at his little bitty wife standing next to him. And she looking up at him like, bruh, don't you do this. I'll never forget it, y'all, as long as I live. The look on that woman's face, she looked at her husband and said, bruh. He was convicted. He was convinced. He was lost in the sauce of these preachers who will come to your church and shake you down.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Close the doors. Just close them. Close the doors. Now, I heard some other folks react to this, and they said, he even put it in their titles on them folks' platform and said, look, black preacher Marvin Sapp says, lock the doors. That's not what he said, y'all. That's not what he said. He didn't say lock the doors. He said close the doors. But you're looking at someone on your screen right now who has a college degree in communications. One of my degrees is in communication, so I understand transmission and reception. He said something, but people interpreted something else. That's where we have a failure to communicate. You got transmission and reception. What the message that was received was not the message that was transmitted. He said, close the doors. Now, I ain't the biggest man in the world, but I'm 5'10", 250. You're not going to stop me from walking out if I feel like walking out. You can close the door, but you ain't going to lock that door, because I've been in church situations where the fire marshal has came out and said, look, bro, this venue is equipped for hundreds of people. But these people so thirsty for the word, so thirsty for the Lord, so hungry to be fed, that you got thousands of people in here in this building that's only equipped for 100. We got to shut this down. It's not going to work. And they beg and plead and say, hey, fire marshal, is there something we can do? Can we make an exception? We just in here having church. We just dancing a little piece. We just shouting a little piece. We just praying and praising a little piece. Can you give us an exception for the night, sir? Fire marshal said, no, this is a hazard. This building is set up for 500-600 people. Y'all trying to have 5,000 people off in it. We can't do this. Gotta shut it down. Y'all, they shut down church. So being in those situations, I understand it. I understand what's going on. I recognize it. And I know what this preacher is doing. He did not say lock the doors. Can you imagine? Locking the doors, chaining the doors, saying you can't get out here unless you give 1,000. Bernie, I ain't letting you leave till you give 1,000. Rochelle Love, I just chained the door shut. And if you ain't giving 1,000, you can't get up out of here, Rochelle. What we doing, Salapter? I'm gonna need 1,000. That's your exit ticket. Now you came in here for free, but you ain't getting out for free. If you don't give 1,000, and matter of fact, it ain't just you. I need you to give your 1,000, then you're going to wait for 39 other people to give 1,000, because I need 40,000 tonight. If I can't get my whole 40, ain't nobody going home. I don't care if we got to shout all night. We just going to dance. We just going to dance till 1,000 shake up out your pocket. Stephen M., you ain't getting up out of here without that 1,000. That's how we set it up tonight. See, we use some trickery, because, you know, everybody feel like they can just put together a Photoshop flyer and lure y'all in to church. Just reel y'all in, right? As long as we put a celebrity pastor face like a Marvin Sapp on the flyer, oh, we'll get y'all to come out. But don't be walking up in here empty-handed. Y'all know what this is? That's why I pointed it out before, telling y'all how I was raised in this, because certain people know what it is. Listen, in that grand old church, I used to find it fascinating because I grew up as a PK, y'all. My father was a pastor in the grand old church. And I would always find it fascinating and say, well, we go over to so-and-so's district meeting, right? And my father would drop a $500 check or $1,000 check. Look, Rochelle said me too. My father would drop $1,000 check at somebody's district meeting. He'd be like, whoo, that was nice. That's a nice little piece of change. And then that person would come back over to our church at our district meeting and drop $1,000 check. And you'd be like, bro, you just gave the money back. What are we doing? Now, I'm a kid and I'm seeing this and I'm able to make the math in my head. Like, bro, what's the difference? If I go to your church and give you 500, you come back to my church and give me 500. What are we doing? It's just a show for the people. It's just a show for the people. Ida Davis said he needed that money to pay to renew his license. He had to pay $2,000. Why? Whew. Our sister Amethyst Angel is in the building. Thank you for being here and rocking out with us. It says, old lady here, since when does a grown man who knows he breaks a sweat not wear a white cotton t-shirt under his shirt? And is that silk? Amethyst Angel is probably the Polly and Esther. Now, it might be the silk because with a watch like that on your wrist, I'm assuming you can afford the silk. But if you know that you got those man boobs, that's going to present a problem in the pulpit, sir, ma'am. I'm with you, Amethyst Angel. You might want to wear a little undershirt, a little tank top. You know, put a tank top and an undershirt over the tank top with a little talcum powder up under it. See, when I was growing up in church, we used to see this all the time. A preacher would sweat out a whole suit. He'd take his jacket off and he sweat out the vest, the shirt, the everything. Who is impressed by that in 2025? We talk about what's normal. I've seen this all my life. Rochelle said, sir, ma'am. I've seen this all my life. Who are you impressing by sweating out your clothes? Thank you, Sil Apter. Appreciate it. Honey, y'all love. Says, good evening, Gospel Chops, Mars, and chat listening in. Thank you, honey, for chiming in. Sil Apter with the super sticker. Ain't made a comment, no question, just showing love with the 10 euros. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you. I don't know who he is impressing by this presentation. It could be so much better. But see, you think this is a sign of work, a sign of effort. When they sweat out these clothes, that's a sign of they've been putting in work behind that microphone. Well, it's actually a sign that you might not be in the best shape, sir. Because you just up there talking. You're just up there talking and walking around, and yet here you are sweating out your clothes before the people. And I get it. At 250 pounds, I can stand to lose a few myself. So I understand how you might begin to perspire a little piece. I get it. With that little perspiration, ain't enough for you to justify asking me for 1,000. 1,000? What you gonna do with 1,000? Y'all ever been to one of these blackity black churches who got a forever building fund going on? and a good word has gone forth and you've been blessed and you feel like you could be a part of this ministry, and you look over at the little chart on the wall and they forever got a building fund, and you don't ever find out after years of service, you don't ever find out where the money went. No, that's not God. Because God don't need your money. What would an omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent God do with your money? God is greater than your money. The church needs your money. The preacher needs your money. The organization needs your money. And many times, let me put this out there, many times that money goes towards good objectives. If you can find a church where you're willing to give your money because you know that they're going to do good with the money, ain't nothing wrong with it. Give. Give with a cheerful heart, according to scripture. Give. But you got to give knowing that that money is going to good services and good use, not going to the pastor's Cadillac payment. Rochelle Love says plant in good soil, 100%. Ain't nothing wrong with giving. You just got to give into a place where you know that good is going to be done with that cash donation, because you giving cash. And I know certain organizations don't even want your cash. They want your time. Listen, we can get more accomplished if you give your time and give your services. What expertise you got? You a lawyer? Well, come and teach a legal class on Wednesday night and tell our people what they can do, what they need to know in the law that will help them live a better life. Won't cost you nothing but some time. You work in government? Come tell us the government opportunities in your department that might help these people start a business, live a better life, do what they need to do. Won't cost you no money, just a little time. But that little bit of time is going to bless the community. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't always about the money until it is. It ain't always about the money until it is, Marvin Sapp.
Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints.
It is easy. The math is easy. Convincing the people ain't easy. 1,000 people online, $20. That ain't easy, bro. You talking about somebody who makes an online presentation on a regular basis. No, that ain't easy. Sister Amethyst Angel for the 5. Thank you so much. Sis says, bring back those heavy robes. These younger preachers aren't trained for that workout. No, they would fold under the weight of those heavy robes, sister. They run out of breath and energy. Bishop W, it's built for it. Okay. Yeah, they would fold under the weight of those heavy robes. Seems like those robes had that anointment in them. Rochelle Love calls it a Ponzi. Well, maybe they are not prepared for this anointing that they have signed up for. Otherwise, why would they be crashing out on this internet like this? Why would they be being exposed on this internet like this. You are in an age of information where people are more informed than they have ever been. And people, listen, if you are stupid in an age of information, it is by choice. And I find even myself, I don't like to be too judgmental, but you got to use discernment. And sometimes I come across people and say, listen, your level of intellect is inexcusable in an age of information. Night Rider said $1,000 is a small seed. Well, Night Rider got them heavy pockets, y'all. He wants y'all to know. $1,000 is a small seed. And I get that. Amethyst Angel. I get that. It is a small seed when you look at how some of y'all live your lives. Some of y'all, listen. I got a friend who has a truck. It's a nice truck. And he loves his truck. He takes good care of it. He makes sure it's always washed and polished and looking good. And he pays $1,800 a month for that truck. He don't live in it. It's not his home. It's his vehicle. But he loves that truck. So I understand what you're saying when you say, hey, $1,000 is a small seed. It ain't much. Well, it's everything to some people. It's your next meal to some people. It's your rent to some people. It's your light bill to some people. It's your travel back and forth to work for the next few weeks for some people. So what I ain't going to do is sit here and try to put it in perspective. Listen, Rochelle Love said $1,800 and not a mortgage. Rochelle, that's a truck. Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all rocking out, but I love to know and be honest in the chat. Joshua Harris in the building. S-Dub in the building. Appreciate all y'all rocking out with me this afternoon on a Friday. I know there's so many other things you could be doing on a Friday afternoon. Just chose to chime in on this story because it was gaining so much traction and it resonated with me because I grew up in the church. These things were normalized in my life. So I understand where Marvin is coming from, but I also understand, bruh, that old school way ain't working no more. It is ineffectual in 2025. You can't stand before the people in a $40,000 watch and say, I need to raise $40,000 tonight. You give that watch first, put it in the plate. And I don't even trust that because these Negroes are so crooked, they'll drop that watch in the plate and go back in the back room and say, give me my watch back. It's all performative. It's all for show. Where the genuine saints at? Where the genuine preachers at? I ain't going to tell you my opinion because it's just my opinion. And I don't want it to influence yours. Just because you happen to be watching me on a computer screen or on a cell phone. But I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this presentation. And most of all, I don't agree with the normalization of this. I don't know if I have to point at the man because I don't know the man. But I know the tactics. I know the presentation. I know where the blackety black church has been, where it's gone, and what it's come to in 2025. And let me tell you, the blackety black church is down bad. I don't care what they try to tell you. Attendance is down. Giving is down. And unfortunately, If I just got to keep it a buck with y'all, faith is down because of people like this. You are causing people to walk away. You are causing people to turn away from the faith. No, you're not a man of God. You are the antithesis of the gospel. You're turning people away. Because they can't hear what you say for seeing what you do. But you know what? We got to take some responsibility in that ourselves, y'all. We can't put all the burden and the blame on folks like this just because they holding a microphone. Because they're not going to be judged with you when that day comes. Marvin Winans ain't going to be standing next to you on the day of judgment. Some of y'all ain't never been in the same room with the dude. How do you expect him to be standing next to you at your time of judgment? He ain't going to be there. It's just a man on the internet, just a man on a video, bloviating, hollering at you, screaming, probably breathing real hard like black preachers do. Sweating out his clothes, might stank a little piece. I hope his deodorant was on his side that night. Because, brother, you sure did perspire quite a bit. I go to the gym on a regular. I know what that look smells like. I need to pray just for that. Stephen M. said part of the money is used as the cleaners to wash the sweat out. Oh, Lord. See, y'all, this is why I love Rochelle Love. She is such a comedian. Oh, my goodness. Anybody who can get on a computer screen and make you laugh just by typing words, she got a gift, y'all. She put in the chat, sap. This Negro is leaking sap out his pores. Oh my God, Rochelle is such a blessing to the community, y'all. He's dripping sap. AJ Drady said Iraq is Iraq. Oh, y'all something else. I love y'all to life and appreciate y'all so much. Our sister Amethyst Angel back with the 10 said, at my church, if you blink, you'll miss the offering prayer followed by the announcements. It go by so fast when they don't depend on it. Amethyst Angel, ain't that something? They don't have to dwell on it. They don't have to hit you over the head repeatedly and try to shake you down for every penny you got. They just put it out there because God loves a cheerful giver. Hey, if you feeling it in your spirit, in your heart, and you are cheerful about giving, here's the opportunity for you to give. We not go harp on it for an hour and try to shake you down. I get it, Amethyst Angel. Thank you for that. It says give online or the agape slotted boxes on the walls outside the sanctuary, Calvary Chapel of Philadelphia. Y'all want to link up with Amethyst Angel? She's at Calvary Chapel of Philadelphia. It's a good church that she endorsed. She even put it on the chat. She endorsed her church. She loved her church. She ain't playing no games. Shout out to Calvary Chapel in Philly. You don't have to beat people over the head if they're cheerful givers. You don't have to guilt trip people if they're cheerful givers. You don't have to shame people if they feel it in their heart. If they're compelled by the Spirit to give, you don't have to put them down. But these churches, because they got so many obligations, I ain't even going to go a certain place where they get to paying them musicians those exorbitant salaries over there. But y'all like that music. You like the music to be right. So the band budget is in the thousands of dollars per week in some of these churches. So they got to raise a budget to keep things moving. The office staff got to be paid. Church security got to be paid. Y'all, when you run it like a business, you got to treat it like a business. And if you don't have the income coming in, ain't no way for it to be the way y'all like it. Y'all know, y'all like them soft pews. You know, you sit in your favorite seat every Sunday, but you like that pew to be extra soft. You like the air conditioning to be set just right. Look, the season changing, y'all. Happy spring to everybody. But when it start warming up, y'all like that AC to be just right. All these things cost money. And if the church ain't making no money, the church can't provide a certain environment for you. But the environment is not everything. See, I have read all the history books, y'all. I go back far enough. I ain't no young buck. I'm in the 50 club now. I'm brand new to it, but I'm in it and I accept it. I understand that the church used to be the hub of the community. And at some point, we got away from that. And that is part of the problem, because if the church was providing the services that the community needed, even if I personally didn't need them, I would be more than happy to contribute to that church in order to provide for the furtherance of those services, knowing y'all feeding the kids, knowing y'all educating the kids, knowing y'all giving the kids a safe space where they ain't out here in the streets doing this, that, and the third. Knowing that y'all are educating the people in the word, knowing that y'all are able to bring in new saints and acclimate them to the faith, knowing that y'all are out here being active, a community hub. Who wouldn't want to give to that? Who wouldn't want to give to that cheerfully, willingly? They wouldn't have to twist your arm to give to that, because you know that your dollar is going towards something that is creating an effect, a positive effect in the community in which you live. Now, I've commuted to church where the church ain't nowhere near I live. I've done that. But most people don't do that. Most people go to find a church in their neighborhood, in their area, that can affect the community that you live in. Thank you, Amethyst Angel. I like a talkback church. Y'all get busy in the chat. I appreciate y'all so much. But the controversy of this entire video, y'all, was that the man said, close the doors. Some people misinterpreted that. He said, close the doors. Some people heard, lock the doors. I'm going to lock you in. You can't leave until you give. We ain't going nowhere until we raise this money. Well, that sounds like a stick up. And y'all know I'm pro 2A. I ain't too keen on a stick up, bro. This not going to go well. But being acclimated to the blackety black church, I understood what he was trying to present. I understood what he was trying to convey. And I also understand the back room shenanigans where he might have been taking 50% of what he raised. I'm going to need y'all to roll it back just a little piece. And I heard somebody say, oh, well, they should have stopped the stream during offering. Well, plenty of churches who are streaming should stop the stream during offering. That I agree with, but it don't change what goes on inside those walls. Just because you ain't broadcasted don't mean it ain't happening. It's still going on for those people who are there experiencing it. A shakedown is a shakedown, whether you broadcast it or not. Okay, here we go. Cesarina Bello says, someone tried to leave and was not allowed by the ushers. This was on video. Now we got a problem, Cesarina Bello. Until we get there, now we got a problem. I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even going to go there. And I'm not even going to stay on it because I don't want to dwell on it. I don't even like that kind of energy. But listen, sir, ma'am, I understand that you are a 80-year-old retired school teacher and you take your ushering seriously in this little uniform and all of that you do off here at this building, at this meeting. But Granny, I'm a grown man. I don't care what that man on that microphone told you, Granny. Listen, Mrs. Ma'am, I'm respectful to my elders. Listen, I got so many people in my chat, in my audience that are older than me. Sometimes it just blows my mind because I'm so respectful of my elders. I can't even imagine. Granny, I'm going to put my arm around, I'm going to hug you, Granny. This not what we finna do, Mrs. Ma'am. Now, I love you, Granny. I'm going to open this door, right? And you can even walk out with me. Do you mind walking me to my car? Can we conversate? Can we talk about this? But what I'm not going to do, Granny, is allow you to stand in the middle of this doorway because that demon on that stage told you to do this. You are out of the will right now because I don't believe what he told you is in the will. Knight Rider says that's false imprisonment. Listen, are we serving the same God? Are we of the same witness? Because wouldn't nobody got up there and told you on that microphone to stand in my way? No, he wouldn't have told you that. Not if he was led by the Spirit, Granny. He wouldn't have told you that. Because the Spirit know me better than that. Listen, Mama, let me put my arm around you. Let me hug you. And please, let's walk outside together. We're going to go through this door together. But what you're not going to do is stop me. What he not going to do is stop me. I'm not even going to go another further on that. Because I love the mothers. I love my elders. I love the ushers. And I hope and I pray that I don't ever get caught up in a situation like that where I have to deal with some foolishness like that. What kind of man would even put that burden on your shoulders and lock the door? No, I'm sorry. I misspoke. That's not what he said. Close the doors. Close the doors. I said close the door. Listen, Granny, my foot is in the door, Granny. My fingers are in the dough jam. Are you going to close the door on my fingers? Why would you do it? The Spirit ain't told you to do it. God ain't told you to do it. The preacher told you to do it. And what y'all will find about me, and we gonna get to connecting on the Patreon, y'all. We're gonna get closer. We're gonna get to know one another. And I look forward to learning more about each and every one of y'all in the community. But listen, I trust God completely, entirely. But I don't trust these Negroes who claim to represent him. You can blame that on my history. You can blame that on Ray Mack at East Oakland Deliverance and how he used to raise his offerings. You can blame that on anybody you want. It's just my life experience. I'm not apologizing for it. It's just who I am. I don't see myself changing as I get older. Listen, Rochelle Love said wigs and peppermints. This is coming from somebody who's obviously been there. Them old peppermints with lint on them that taste like a little purse. When you give them a little candy to the kids, it tastes like a little inside purse a little bit before you get to the peppermint part. Oh, Rochelle done been there. But it's all good. Because their mothers used to love on us. used to treat us right. God bless them all. They loved us. That was at a time where we learned something in the church. Listen, Honey K said perfume and dust on the peppermints. Why your purse dusty, Granny? Why your peppermints taste like perfume? It's all good, y'all. We have these kinds of conversations so that we can learn from one another. I learned as much from y'all as y'all learn from me. That's why I pay attention to the chat, because y'all keep me on my toes. Especially when I come out here and get to preach a name wrong on the live. I apologize, y'all, but I thank y'all for getting me right. It was just a slip of the tongue. That's all. But we love the Blackity Black Church. We love our lived experience. We love sharing it with y'all. Hopefully, y'all can learn something from it. Listen, the best thing in the world got to be your ability to learn from my experience, having not gone through it. You can just learn from me talking about it. You ain't had to live it like I did. But I appreciate it for what it was. And I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me on this Friday afternoon. Y'all, we have been on here for an hour and a half. Longer than I thought we would be, but I'm glad, happy glad, as the mothers would say, that we were able to have this conversation. There are times like this that we're going to have starting next week, y'all, where I will have a live stream on YouTube. I'm not leaving the YouTube platform, but I will have certain live streams where I say, hey, let's go continue the conversation on Patreon. And those of you who are members will have an extended conversation. We'll talk a little more about certain subjects. And I'm really excited about this Discord situation, because it's like a message board type of thing where we can really interact with each other, not only in real time, but on a chat situation where we can have extended conversations that don't go away. And the more people who join in, the more people we can have feed into certain conversations. And hopefully y'all will bring all of your gifts and your talents and your spirit to the chat. And we can have a conversation ongoing where we enhance each other, because the community ain't just about me. The community is me learning from you as we all learn from each other. And that's what I hope that we can get out of it. We gonna see. This is an experimentation that I am excited about. And, people told me to do it long ago and I didn't, but here we are. And I'm excited and overjoyed that we can have more conversations like this, not only the viral ones like this one. He went viral because he's a celebrity in certain circles. But understand that these kinds of situations happen all the time in the church. For some of us, it's normalized. For some of us, it's just plain weird, and I get it. But I hope we can continue to have these kinds of conversations in the future. Y'all, we still ain't hit 100 likes on the way out the door as we give the benediction. Make sure you hit the like button. It'll help me out with the algorithm, even as we plan to transition to other folks platform. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me on this Friday. I hope you all have a blessed weekend. I will most likely come back before you on another live this weekend, because there's so much more that we have to talk about. We didn't mention politics, I don't think, at all today, which is great for me, because I'm so focused on it. I'm sorry, y'all. For those who haven't followed me for some time, one of my other college degrees is in political science. It is something that I concentrate on heavily. So if you follow this platform, you'll hear a lot about it, just because I naturally think in that direction. But we'll see you again at some point this weekend, whether it be tomorrow or Sunday. We're going to figure it out. We're going to work it out. And we will meet once again. As they used to say in my church, growing up as a kid, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one.